everyone. Welcome to another Adobe live stream. My name is Annika and I will be your host today. I am joined by Illustrator Ana Duje. Ana, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. I am really excited for this stream today. We have Ana turning her artworks in Adobe Illustrator into print work, and she's also going to be sharing her tips and tricks and shortcuts. So stay tuned for that. But before we actually dive into everything, I want to mention that there are new Creative Cloud Express streams that happen every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings. This week, we are featuring Alex Lazarus, who will be demonstrating how to show your brand, get your brand started, and use the easy to use app. And you can also start your day with the Photoshop Creative Challenges at every 9 a.m. every weekday at behance.net/Adobe Live. We have Sam Peterson doing the challenges today, and it's going to be amazing. You can tune in, learn every single day with a new prompt, go to the Discord, put in your work, and also get feedback from mentors. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hop on over to Behance. This is where I will be reading the chat. I see there are probably a few people here. So come on over to Behance. You can ask questions, join the conversation, and learn more about Ana's work. But Ana, do you want to take it away and tell us about you and a little bit about your work and dive into what we're doing today?
Sounds good. I'm happy to be here, Annika, with you. We're going to have fun, hopefully, and hopefully the people are watching as well.
Absolutely.
Briefly about me, you can see my screen, right? Or?
We will be. Yes, now we are.
All right, let me start sharing. So briefly about me, I'm an illustrator and printmaker from Argentina. I'm from a small town in the province of Córdoba, which is in the very center of Argentina. In 2016, I moved to Barcelona. I was working in advertising agencies as a graphic designer up until then. And then I came here and I just wanted to see how it could go, my life could go. I was 26 at the moment. I started working in a design studio, and then I just started realizing that what I liked the most was illustration. So I just started doing that. I became a freelancer. In Barcelona, I started doing things like you've probably seen, if the people following this live stream are following me on Instagram or Behance, you may have seen this project that I did in 2017, let me see if I can find it, which was 36 Days of Type, which is a really cool project on Instagram where people can design their own, typography. And I decided to do character design. So I started doing these letters, and this is sort of what kickstarted the whole thing on Instagram. I started gaining my first followers, and it was very fun. So yeah.
I love the 36 days of type. The challenge in itself is amazing, and it's lovely to see that it gave you a kickstart. And I also love the style that you have here. Very nice geometric shapes and very clean. Everyone in the chat is also loving it. I forgot to say hi to chat. Hey chat, how are you doing? Tell us where you're joining us from. I want to say hi to Wade, Oliver, Umakon, Fergie. Hey, hello. Welcome to the stream, guys.
Hi everyone. Thanks for being here. I think it still maintains, or I still maintain this essence of my style, which is very geometric, very simple, but I've been sort of evolving with time. So this is my early work. And 36 Days of Type is a really good thing that happens, to a lot of people that are starting this, because it gave me, I literally had like 90 followers on Instagram back then, and on Behance as well. And I went from 90 to like 2,000 in a week or something like that, because you can get featured every day.
Hey, yeah, so social really media tips.
Right, yeah. Join 36 Days of Type. I think it's in March, around March or April every year. Yep. So yeah, in 2018, I moved to Hong Kong because of life circumstances. And then I started working all around Asia as a digital nomad. I did projects such as this one, which was for a shopping mall in Korea. I had the chance to go to Seoul, so South Korea, and I had a lot of fun watching, looking at my work in a different way, in a 3D environment, which was really cool. This project is also on Behance. And then, since then I worked for clients such as Adobe, Apple, Google, Nike, and many more. It was really fun to work for Adobe, actually. That's one of the projects that I had the most fun doing. This was for Adobe Asia, and it's been pretty popular on Behance as well. People really seem to like it. It was a toolkit of, I think, around 20 illustrations, and then we did these animated videos. You can take a look at it if you look at my Behance later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Behance is really captivating. I love how every single project has a little bit difference to it, but still really amazing. Still very cohesive style, very simple, yet complicated. I can't wait to dive in and learn everything from you. Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, that's it about me, I guess. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. We have 2 hours together, so
Absolutely.
I can answer any
Yes.
questions you have. And yeah, so the plan for today will be to, I'm gonna open my Illustrator, will be to do, make some prints, basically. Today we're gonna do the illustration and coloring part. I'm gonna try to make it as interactive as possible so that you guys watching can, you know, participate and choose certain things
Absolutely.
related to the design.
We love a poll. We love a poll, Chad, don't we?
And then tomorrow we'll be working on the most technical part, which is learning how to prepare files for print, adaptations for different formats, for social media, for Behance projects or whatever. So yeah, let's get going.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's get into it.
So I was thinking, I'm gonna kind of wing it. I was thinking of doing something because I have an upcoming project, but it's a personal project. So I'm gonna be doing live sessions, live chats with other female illustrators on Behance soon. It's gonna start in May. So you can follow me on Instagram if you're not doing so already. It's at Ana.Duje. I can share it later.
Absolutely. I see there might be a little bit of a streaming thing. So, chat, we will be right back in just about 2 minutes. Hang in there. We'll be right back. Stick around and ask any questions you'd like. Meanwhile, check out Ana's work, and we'll be right back. Hey, we're back, folks. Sorry about that little snafu, but we're back. Hey, Ana, yeah, let's dive into it again.
Hi, back. So I was just showing you my social in case you want to follow me. And yeah, so I was talking about the live stream on Instagram, which is coming in May. And I was thinking I want to do like a post, like a cover for it. So I was thinking of doing some character design. And then if we have time, I'm going to make some flower prints because I love making flowers.
Love it.
So yeah.
And April showers bring May flowers. Perfect theme for today.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and tomorrow we'll be turning them into print files.
Nice.
So let's start. I don't know. It's so hard for me. I guess everyone watching is probably an illustrator or a designer in some way. So I'm sure you will understand how difficult it is to draw and talk at the same time. It's kind of challenging.
Yeah. I think there might be a little bit of a noise still, so we will be right back. Hang tight, folks. Be right back. Hey, we're right back. Told you it's gonna be 1 second. But thanks for hanging in there. There's a little bit of an issue that was going on, but we fixed it, hopefully. But if not, let us know. Yes, let's get back into it. Anyone just joining us? We are in Adobe Illustrator with Ana. So let's dive into it.
So now what I'm trying to do is a girl, and I never start by doing the same thing. Like I always start by just drawing a random part of what I'm trying to do. So this is, for me, I was going to say obviously the head, but it's obvious for me because I have it in my mind. So what I'm going to try to do is, I always do the same kind of heads, sort of like, it's just a circle, and then I work on the hair later. So this is where I'm gonna need the people's advice later on when I start doing the hair. So we can have fun with hairstyles and stuff.
Nice. Do you also have like a set amount of hairstyles that you choose already? They're like cohesive for your style?
I like doing crazy things, sort of like I don't know, curly thing, but also sort of like gravity defying, these like hairstyles that go all around or like vertical. It's pretty fun. And that's the part that I like the most because I love drawing, right? But then I start adding and adding. So if you look at my first drawings or like the first draft, it's never the same as what it ends up being, because also I add shadows and I add textures and patterns when I do the color part. Usually, so I'm doing this from scratch, but usually because I have the same heads all the time, I just grab another head from another. This is like a time-saving thing that I do. I just grab another head from some other illustration that I have, and that's it. Like you don't have to work smarter, work smart, not hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Wade in the chat says, oh, hairstyle library, I need one of those. Absolutely. Yeah, I also need a hairstyle library.
So let me think. I think I'm gonna do like this might show how geometric my work is because I'm not good at freehanding. So I sort of base my, by the way, I'm one of those people that use the smart guides. Not everyone is a fan of them. I absolutely love them because I'm so precise and so geometric that like I just needed to snap all the vectors together, So I think
I love smart guides as well. They make your workflow so easy. And I don't know what I would do without smart guides. I mean,
yeah. I just live by them, and like Illustrator is my absolute favorite thing in the world.
So did you always start your design and illustration with Illustrator, or was it something else? Did you ever do traditional work? How did it all come into fruition?
I studied advertising. I didn't study graphic design per se, but in university they teach you how to use the tools. So I ended up working. I never worked so I should be a copywriter, the one that thinks, about the ideas for advertising, but I never exercised that professionally. I just did graphic design. So I always started with Illustrator, and I'm not that good at hand drawing, as I said. So whenever, like if I have to do something really quick, for a client, like a very urgent deadline or something, then I would probably, I think I have it here to show you. I have one of these. It's called a Remarkable. It's sort of like, it's like a tablet where you can draw, but it feels like paper. It's really cool. So I would just use that. And it's also sort of like a notebook, like an endless notebook, because it's infinite, and I take it everywhere. But I don't use it that much because usually my draft version, the first version that I show the client, is usually just my outline version in Illustrator.
That's pretty cool. I've never used Remarkable, so that's something I'm going to take away from this stream. That's pretty cool. 5 minutes in and we already have pro tips. What?
Yeah.
Love it. Do you think your copywriting background also helps you ideate your illustration sometimes?
I guess so. I mean, I think about illustration and graphic design as sort of like a communication, not sort of, it is a communication tool, right? So,
Yeah.
so I think it might, I never like was very conscious of it. Now that you're asking, I think it may have helped. Also, I've heard from many clients many times that I have this, it doesn't sound very modest, but this is what I've heard, that I have this like sort of talent to make a very non-tangible concept into something that you can actually understand visually, you know? That's why I worked with a lot of startups and technology companies where, you know, the concepts are very, very hard to represent. And I just happen to find the way to do so.
Absolutely. I think your work screams less is more. And that is definitely something that everyone aims for. I mean, creating minimal designs is not always the easiest thing to do. And I love how you do it. Hey.
Thank you. Yeah, less is more is my motto in life. I think I have it in my website, actually.
Oh, I promise I didn't see it.
Funny you mentioned it. Yeah. Or you've done your homework. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I love it. So are you switching to the outline mode to see how your things are aligning, how your shapes are aligning? Is that what you're doing?
I do this all the time.
Nice.
All the time. It's just a way of looking at it. I mean, I have to mention that I have a bit of an OCD thing going on. So I need to be very precise. So this helps a lot whenever I have to, let's say I have this here and then I need to snap it. I just prefer to look at it on the outline mode because I don't know, it feels easier and more precise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was going to start making a shape. I was going to, because I'm going to make a girl sitting down with her legs up. And I was going to start making it as a shape, but I think I might, sometimes I do this. I don't do this all the time, but I think I might just do like a shape, like a line. And then I'm going to turn that into a shape, if you know what I mean. I'm going to show you in a second.
Nice. I don't know if you guys have ever created something like this, chat, but let us know if you ever use shapes like this or see it something like this making and can visualize, because I love how you can just with lines you can visualize how you can just create a leg out of a stroke. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't know how to start, I just try to visualize it like this and I'm like, okay, does it look good? Does it look like a leg or what, you know?
The classic squint. Yes, squint, create and repeat. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to wear my glasses. You reminded me.
Oh.
Indirectly. Because I'm going to be like this all the time. I'm going to look kind of weird. All right. So, yeah.
Wait, did you just use the width tool for that? How did you get the shape that's bigger on one side and smaller on the other?
Yeah, I did the width tool. And then if let's say, I'm not sure if this is going to be the final shape, but let's say I do it. Yep. I just expand it. Well, now I did it wrong because it shouldn't have a fill color. And then I expand it and I turn it into a full shape. And then I would probably
round the edges.
This corner. Nice. Yeah. So let me think. This is quite challenging to talk and
no, it's okay. You get used to it. This is Anna's first time streaming, so I think you're doing great. This is already coming to life. I also have a question. Do you never start with sketches? Do you always start just with vectors? Right? Go right into it?
Yeah, I always start with vectors. It's just a thing I do. I don't know why, because I know it's not the most, like the optimal way to do so, but I don't know. I just find it's my... You know, each one has their own process, and this is what works for me.
Love that. Yeah, Becca in the chat says, I don't think I could just go into something like this without a sketch. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, not every time it looks that good, right? Like sometimes it doesn't look good and I don't like it, but I start tweaking it and sometimes I make a design and it takes me sometimes 15 minutes, and then I spend like 2 more hours just tweaking it until I'm happy with it.
Love that.
So, okay, this might work. I think it looks kind of, I need to drop this a bit. Okay, so I usually do the general shape first, and then sorry about my voice, by the way. I don't know why I'm a bit, sounds a bit.
It's the weather. It's the allergy season.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Spring.
Yeah.
Spring
Spring,
comes with,
indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. Comes with its challenges.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna do some shoes. Oh yeah, one thing I do a lot of the time is to use the ruler, because I like having a baseline, even though I don't always draw the baseline in my illustrations. But I do like having everything neat and everything meeting at the same point, you know?
Yeah.
So let's see.
Love that you're so precise with all the shapes. I also am the same person, so I'm really enjoying this. I don't know about you, Chad.
Yeah. You've told me that you're getting into illustration lately, right?
Yeah, absolutely. More of illustration, also along with design. So this is fascinating.
That's cool. Yeah, I think it's such a fun way. I mean, I love graphic design as well. I used to do graphic design, pure graphic design, if you know what I mean, identity design and stuff like that. But illustration is such a fun way to design and communicate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So sometimes I do. This is more of an OCD thing, I think. I try to follow the same line, the same angle, so that it just looks neater when I turn it into a shape.
Yeah, that OCD also lends itself to your design and style preferences, because then I can immediately recognize that it's your work.
Right.
And if like those half tones and this design, the minimalism, all of it contributes to that. So I love it.
Thank you. So where are the people watching from?
Yeah, let us know. We have a lot of friends joining in. We have Cameron, Becca, Robert, David. What's up? What's up? Tell us where you're joining us from and what time it is.
Hi,
and
everyone.
What's your favorite project by Ana? Make sure to check out her work on Instagram or Behance and let us know.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. What's your favorite project that I've done? Because usually it's really subjective, right? Sometimes I really like something and I post it on Behance or Instagram or whatever, or I show it to my friends and they don't have the same response as I do. Sometimes I love something, they don't like it as much. Sometimes I think something is kind of like bland, but I just do it and people love it. So
yeah, I feel like it's one of those questions when people say, I don't have a style, but people looking at your work know that you already have a style. So it's one of those things.
Yeah. I mean, imposter syndrome is such a huge thing in this field, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so hard not to compare yourself to other people or think that, you know, your work is not, it's mind-blowing to me. The most mind-blowing thing to me in this field, since I've been working in this, is how the response of people. Like I would never have imagined that I would have this, you know, people that like my work, basically. It's just as simple as that.
Absolutely. It's always finding the right balance between that. But I always think that when it's easier said than done. But whenever you have like an imposter syndrome, I try to compare myself to my older work and see how far I've come in like a set time span, and then think about why I started comparing myself to others in the first place to identify the real issue.
Yeah.
Which basically helps you. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Love that. People from UAE, London, Ohio, Geneva. We are worldwide today. Love it.
Wow.
Love it here on Adobe Live. Yeah.
That's nice.
Love it. Thank you all for joining. And again, just as a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, hop on over to Behance. This is where you can say hi to the community and all of these people and tell us where you're joining us from. And David in the chat says relatable. They have a lot of projects they're working with, and they're like, I will post it. And then the random stuff performs the best.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love it. Is that a sock you're creating?
I'm trying to make a sock. Yeah. I'm into socks lately. Like the thing I like the most when I'm drawing, the thing I like to do the most is shoes. Because there's such a huge range of things you can do with them. Because the rest of my style is very, very simple, and I don't have faces, for example. It's just heads, right? So I have fun with the hair, which is the possibility that I have to add some character to it. And then shoes and also they're very big in my style. So shoes are one of the things that I have the most fun with. And then now I'm into socks.
It's funny. I was reading an article earlier today that people pay for socks. People spend a lot of money on merchandise, and they specifically talked about socks. And it's
that would be a good idea for my shop.
Absolutely, yeah. Your girl print on the socks would look fun.
I want to hear the people's thoughts on that, because I've been thinking, because I closed my shop due to COVID in 2020. And I just couldn't. I started doing a lot of client work, and I just didn't have time to take care of it. But I'm planning on opening it again. So, and I have these. These are going to be some of the products I'm going to have.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I also love both of them. So I'm definitely
the little
wondering.
pins. Yeah.
Do you make the pins yourself?
I mean, I don't produce them, right? But I do design them. Yeah. I design the whole thing, and then the whatever provider I go with ends up advising on the colors depending on the shades that they have and the enamels that they have. So that's a good help.
Yeah, definitely check out the website. Fergie loves the cute girl pin. Me too.
Oh, thank you. I can do a giveaway if you follow me on Instagram. I can do a giveaway soon.
Giveaway. Yeah. We love giveaways here. We love them. Free stuff, free 99 as bliss.
So no, I'm jumping ahead. No, I have to take a look at it again. Okay. So sometimes I do. So for example, in this case, when I color this is going to be the leg and this is going to be the pants, right? So what I have to do here, I just added a line just to see it, to overview it. But then of course I'm going to have to separate this shape into two in order to color them in a different shade. Actually, I don't know if I did the same angle. Oh no, see, this is the kind of things that take up most of my time when I'm designing.
Was it the same angle? Maybe not. So do you join these lines later on, or how does that work?
Yeah, so what I would do in this case, I can do it now. Let me see.
Everyone in chat is hyped about giveaways. Yes. Let's do it. And Marshall loves socks. So that's fun. We have one sock buyer.
Yeah, I have one customer so far.
One customer. Yep. And me
so
too.
What I would,
since I suggested it, I think I should.
So what I would do is I just continue this line, and then I grab both shapes and I just separate them, divide them. And then I have two shapes. You have to ungroup them because they end up being grouped when you do that. So now
maybe you want to do that again. I think even I missed that. So let's do it again.
Yeah. So I had this line, right? And then I extended it.
Okay.
And then you grab both the line and the shape you want to divide. And then you go to Pathfinder and you divide it.
Nice.
And then it ends up being a group. So you have to ungroup.
Yep.
Which is, I think, in the menu. I have a lot of shortcuts.
It's
so
Shift
I just
G,
do it.
I think, if you're on a Mac.
Exactly. Shift Command D. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even think about it. It's just like muscle memory,
Yep.
So if I have to tell you what it is, I have to think about it for a bit. Okay.
You've been doing it so long. It's just like force of habit.
Yeah. I have my own shortcuts. I did a reel on Instagram the other day about this. You can go to edit keyboard shortcuts, and then you can see that I have my Ana set or profile.
Yeah.
And that's where I have all my shortcuts. Some of them are just the preset ones from Illustrator, but then I just add some of them. For example, if I have some text, I have I think it's Command Shift dot or period, and I can increase the size, and then the same with the comma, and I decrease the size. I can turn it into caps, all caps, Command Shift and M, but that's my own shortcut. You can do whatever you want, and then same for lowercase.
I love that.
So it's
we have a question from David.
Yeah.
So I think they noticed that you have some animated work in your portfolio as well. So they're asking if you animate your works as well, and are you always collaborating with animators? And when a project needs animation, or do you do it yourself?
Sounds a great question, David. So what I do is I don't animate. I don't use After Effects or anything like that. I do collaborate with some animators. You will see I credit them in every project that I have on Behance. I always credit them. Isaac Claramunt, which is an animator from Barcelona. He's also an illustrator, has worked with me in many projects, including the ones for Adobe. And then it's a good question because tomorrow we're going to do some of this. I prepare the files for animation. In order for them to, they have to be layered and all sorts of stuff, which I can explain tomorrow if you're interested in it. And then I do some animations, but just the very, very simple ones. Let me see if I can show you. I have my super rare. If you're into NFTs lately, it's seems to be a thing.
Yeah,
it's a kind of popular.
I love
lately.
That. I love the smile and the Xmas. And the Z as well. Really nice.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, this one is animated. This has been animated by Adrian. I can share his profile later. And this is very, very simple. It's just like a frame by frame, which I have done myself in Photoshop, which we're going to do tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah.
Something similar.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I would love to get into animation, but it's a different, it's a whole world. So I don't think I would be as good as the people I work with.
Oh, no, just all in good time. I think once you dive into it, it's a little intimidating to start, but once you dive into it, it's all good. It's just like Illustrator when you first started.
Have you done it?
I do some of it, yes. I use After Effects, and there's now animation even in Adobe Fresco, and that's a free app. So if you're just getting into it or just trying your hand at it, you're just a hobbyist, maybe you can start with Fresco.
Sounds good. I will definitely try when I have some time. I've been crazy busy with work lately, luckily.
That's
like I always say that I'm lucky enough to say I live off of illustrating, which is a very fun thing to do, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do so.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna add some detail to the shoes. I used to do a lot of. Yeah, sorry.
I was saying it's funny. The sock kind of looks like a hand. It's like almost like she's holding the hand, the leg with her hand. That's fun.
Yeah, it's funny how people can read things into your work. It's always nice to hear some other like points of view because you have something in your brain, and and then
that's what art is, right?
Completely different.
Yeah, it's just interpreting what you see. It's pretty cool.
I used to do a lot of sneakers before, and now I'm doing a lot of boots just because I got tired of the sneakers. But
nice. So do your clients ever come to you with like a specific design and they say we need an exact type of sneaker in here? Does that ever happen?
Yeah. So I actually, it might be a good opportunity to show this because I always get asked what my creative process is. So I actually prepared this beforehand because I knew this question was going to come. So my creative process in terms of like the way I illustrate is just what I'm doing here, which is I do the outline and then I draw the shadows, which you're going to see later. And then I go move on to color and textures, right? But then when it comes to client work, what happens is that you can have several scenarios. You can have scenario one, which is when the client gives you the exact visual reference that they want. For example, for Virgin Media, I did this illustration where the client was like, we want, some of these references are from my work and some of them are from other people's work. We want something like this. We want people holding stars because it's about a Trustpilot review. Yeah. So that's what I did. I just presented some options and they ended up choosing this one. This is using their color palette, their brand color palette. But then there's other cases where it's a bit more challenging, where you can have a scenario where the client gives you a concept but they don't give you an exact idea or a reference or a visual reference. So this is what I did for Upwork. For example, they gave me a stat about freelancing, and okay, I was like, what can I do with this? So sometimes my process is literally Googling working remotely, for example, which was the topic of this specific illustration, right? So I just Google, because what I like is to see what, oh my God, sorry. We have to, I'll be right back.
Yep. Stick around, guys. We will be right back. Actually, I'm still here. So I don't know. Let me know what your favorite project for Ana is. And let me actually see if there are any questions in chat. I don't know. I've used the Photoshop timeline a lot of times, so I love it. But
sorry, I'm back. These things can happen live.
Oh yeah,
someone was knocking at my door.
Always when streaming 101. We all know it on Behance. All right, we're talking about working remotely.
Yeah, so I was looking at images and this was what came up, and what I like is to see what people understand visually when we talk about certain topic, right? So I like seeing what the general consensus is about certain concept. So what I ended up doing, because most of the images that I found in this case were desks and working inside, I ended up doing this, and this was for Upwork. And then, for example, another case was with Adobe, actually. Adobe in San Francisco, they contacted me and they asked me to do 4 illustrations. And one of them was about working well in a team and sharing assets across devices. So I'm sorry, they're knocking at my door. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'll be right back.
All right, folks, we will be right back in about 1 minute. We have Spencer Nugent's work in the chat as well. Yeah, Spencer is an amazing creator, so you guys should definitely check out Spencer's work. And we have Spencer, Steve also talking about it. All right. Are we good now? Is the post
we're good. We're
stuff
good.
While you're live done?
So sorry. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. I was getting a package.
Yeah, Fergie in the chat is like, postman finds the time, favorite time to deliver stuff is when we're live.
Exactly. It's Spain, so everything is late here. So at 7 p.m. they're delivering a package.
It's all
but
right.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be fine from now on.
The next time we're gonna want to see the package. So
exactly. Might be something interesting.
Oh, so always fun.
So in this case for Adobe, the ask was to draw something that was related to sharing assets across devices. So what I picked up from this whole sentence was that, which for me was the key of the concept. So I ended up doing this. This was animated by Isaac, which I mentioned earlier. And it ended up being really cool. It used to be not anymore because they've chosen another illustrator for this year, but it used to be in the homepage of Adobe Creative Cloud.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then another scenario that could happen is when the client gives you the idea, but not a visual reference. So they tell you, well, I want this but they don't give you a reference. So in this case, it was, for example, I thought maybe a chair at bottom left, teaching coding to toddlers. So with that, I just worked on something that represented visually what they asked me to do. So that was fun. Yeah, and then just a fun fact. This is for all the illustrators out there. I kind of cheat when I illustrate. For example, I do have time-saving things that I do on a daily basis. So what I was telling you before, I just take a head from another illustration that I have because they're all the same, and then I just copy and paste, or I use the same hands. For example, here in these 3 examples, this is the exact same hand, but it's just used in a different context, and it just works. So I copy myself. I guess that's allowed, right? As long as you don't copy someone else.
Yeah, I think it's great to reuse your assets that you create, because if we started not reusing them, we'd be just creating them forever. So it's lovely that you're reusing your assets. I think a lot of 3D artists also do that. I know David in the chat does that. I do it. I love it.
That's cool. That's cool that other people do it, because it feels like cheating, but at the same time, it's my own work. So another thing I do is I try to avoid drawing, because I really suck at drawing hands. So I'm not that good, and I try to just not draw them if I can. Like I try to hide them, if you know what I mean. Here there's
everyone's wearing mittens.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a little bit of my creative process, just in case you were interested. It's something that I often get asked.
Love that. Yeah, there is a nice little presentation for giving us good insight into your thought process. Love it. Lisa really loves it. Really original and modern style. And Penny agrees. Nothing wrong with that. It's not cheating.
It's not cheating. That's nice. I have your validation then.
Absolutely. Yeah. Smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's about all these things that make your daily life easier, when you're working and you have very tight deadlines and you don't have time, and you also have to balance your personal life. You just have to manage and find a way to save time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Creative Cloud libraries are for. I mean, that's why you use them. Because you have assets and you use them across various apps, and I think this is a perfect way to use libraries, which is amazing.
Exactly. So now I'm working on a sort of like a pom-pom type of thing that is going to be on top of the boot, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to do this, but let's see, might do fewer. Yeah. And then what I like doing is, because I'm not a fan of very pointy or like sharp edges.
Yep.
So, but that's just a preference. So I'm going to try and make it a cloudy sort of shape, or like a flower.
Nice. Yeah. Love it.
All right. And then what I usually do, because I tend to round edges a lot, or round corners a lot. So sometimes you have these, now I can't see it, but sometimes, and also because I add a roughen effect at the end, which you're going to see later, it tends to have certain, like, it looks weird in the corner. So what I do is I always take everything. This is a Command A, by the way, or Control A if you're on Windows, to select everything. And then I just use this, the round join. And that way it looks smoother. I don't know if there's any examples. Maybe you can see it here. So
yeah, it is.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all the corners look a bit more, to get all together, and looks
make
cleaner.
It look, and also soothing to the eye.
Exactly. It's just these little things that you don't notice, but when they're done, it looks better. You don't know why or how, but it looks better.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what makes it for the illustration.
Okay, so I'm gonna
I still think that's a hand though, the sock. I can't unsee it now.
What do you think, guys, in the chat? Should I change it?
No, don't change it. I'm just saying. Yeah, but chat, let us know. Do you think that's a hand? I think that's a hand. Penny in the chat is talking about hands. That hands
It's sort
are
of like
hard to
knuckles,
make.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because what we could do as well is to work on, let's say we're going to hide this for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could do.
How do you hide that so quickly?
Oh, it's
customized shortcut.
It might be one of mine. I'm not sure. It's Command 3. And then if I want to see it again, it's Command Shift. No, what is it? No, I can't remember. But it's Command 3 to hide.
I think that might be a customized one.
I think it might be, yeah.
Nice.
So let's see. I can also do like a zigzag type of thing. Smooth. It's a bit smaller. That might also work.
That also looks good. People in the chat have a mixed opinion. We have hand sock. It looks like a hand. It looks like a fluffy top of a winter boot. Hey, that's
oh yeah, that was sort of the idea behind it.
Love it. Yeah, Trivet also doesn't want us to change it. That's pretty cool. Yep.
Okay, should we put the old one then?
Let's keep it.
Let's stick with the popular opinion.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chad.
So in this case, for example, I don't like that this knee is way too rounded. Like this curve is too big. So I think I'm gonna just fix it quickly. I don't have a quick way of doing this. It's just like, you know, I extend the line, I extend the line again, and then I just make them meet.
Yep.
And then I join the vectors with a Command J, and then I round the corner. So I think this might be a bit better.
Yep.
All right.
Zooming out always helps.
Yeah, right. I always do a Command dot period. What do you call that in English? Period, right?
It's the same.
Yep. So I guess that's also a default shortcut to see the whole artwork. Okay, so
also, have we saved yet? I know we're almost 1 hour into the stream, so I don't know if we've saved yet. Have we saved? Chad,
if I've saved,
remind us to save. Yep.
It's just an automatic thing I do. Can you see that there's no asterisk there? I save probably every 10 seconds because
I am a fan. I love saving. I'm a compulsive saver, so I love it.
Right? It's just something I don't even realize I'm doing it, but I do it all the time. And this is because of a few bad experiences I've had in the past. Because when I used to work in advertising agencies, many times I've lost work because of not saving. So I just have this compulsion of just saving all the time. I guess bad experiences make you learn from mistakes, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So I think we're done with this leg. I think we can do something fun, like a leg in the air or something like that.
Oh, that would be fun.
We could just duplicate this leg and then just tweak. Wait, I'm gonna add some details. Because why not?
Yep. Love it. Noor says obsessive compulsive saver, OCS. Yeah, we're gonna steal that.
That's it. That's a good term.
Thanks, Noor. Kieran is joining us. Hey, Kieran, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Anyone? Again, we're almost like 50 minutes into the stream. We're here with Ana Duje. She's an illustrator based out of Barcelona, Spain, and she's working in Adobe Illustrator. So if you have any questions for her, make sure to check out her work. And this is the time. Now is the time to ask any questions related to the design that she's doing. So
I'm happy to answer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm not gonna have the exact same leg. I'm just gonna try to, and I'm also gonna group. I always group. I don't work in layers, only when I separate the layers when I have to send it to an animator, but I don't work in layers. I find it easier to organize in my head, it's easier to just group. So I have, this leg is a group, this other leg is a group. And then within that group, I have the group of the shoe. That's the way I organize myself. Let me know if it's how you guys work.
Yeah, let us know if you use layers and if you name your layers. That's also another debate
Oh yeah, no.
we all have.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, no.
if I make layers, I definitely name them. Like, there's no way I'm not gonna name them.
Nice, love that. Yeah, everyone in chat says they have sticky notes to save. Nice, love it. So, is there? I know Brogan has a question. Brogan, if you would care to elaborate a little, I would love to ask the question as well. But Lisa has another question. How do you choose your composition? Sketch or based on images or in your head? I know we talked about that a little bit earlier when you were talking about working remotely, but maybe we can touch a little bit more.
Yeah, so sometimes I just wing it and I try things out until it works for me. And then sometimes, for example, let's say I have to make the ask from the client is to make someone running, for example. What I would probably do is find or Google photos of people running so that I can visualize, even though my characters are not that realistic, but they still have to read as people, right? As people doing certain activity. So what I would do is Google people running, and then I would roughly, sketch the shape, and then I just move on to adding all sorts of fun that characterize my style.
Love it. Yeah,
There'll be a way to approach it. Let me know if I'm getting quiet.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just reading chat. The chat is really popping. I'm trying to keep up. Trying to see if I missed any questions, but I don't think I did. I know Brogan had a question. Yeah, so there we go. Brogan says, new brushes or new tools mentioned. Do you take courses on Adobe or do you self-teach or a combination of both? How do you keep up with the products?
That's a great question, Brogan. I mean, I think I mostly self-taught. The whole thing, I mean, working in Illustrator has been something that as I said, I learned in university. So the basic, but that was like Illustrator, I don't know, it was back in 2009 or something. So that was like the first time, or 2008. So of course the software has evolved a lot, and it has a lot of new tools and really useful things, more than before. But I think I'm basically self-taught because I just use it all the time, right? So I've been using it every single year since 2008 or whatever. So I just discover new things as it improves and updates. But at the same time, I do have a lot of designer friends, and sometimes I learn things. Like, for example, the other day, I learned something that I could not believe I didn't know, which was how to separate layers when you're working for animators. So what I used to do is just separate the layers, like copy and paste in place in a different layer. And there's this amazing, I can't remember who, like I can't credit who told me this, and it was such a good thing, such a good advice, which is this release to layers sequence, right? Nice. So that way you have it in the same order. Like the things that are behind stay behind.
Yeah, that was so useful. Very handy if you're using Illustrator and After Effects and you don't use a plugin to get your stuff from Illustrator to After Effects. Yeah, you can simply do that and you will have all your groups released to different layers. Just does what it says. Super easy.
That is such a time-saving thing. Absolutely. It's crazy how long I took before knowing that.
Yeah, we're always learning.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the fun thing about even live streams. Even when you think you're experienced, when you've been doing it for a lot of time, there's still, because the software has been updating every single day, I think there are some things that we still miss out on. And it's really amazing to see that you can pick up those things even when you're just lurking. I know there's a lot of lurkers in the chat as well, so hey.
So I'm curious to know how many of you are actually designers or illustrators, or why are you watching this, Are you interested in getting into illustration?
Yeah, let us know. So for
So
those of us, we're about at the 1 hour mark. So for those of us who are just joining us, can you describe what we're doing today a little bit so that everybody is catching up on it?
yeah, so the idea is to make some prints. We're gonna do today, we're gonna be working on the sketches and the color part. And then tomorrow we'll be turning them into prints. So right now I'm working on this girl. I thought I was afraid, I was telling Annika before starting that I tend to work very, very fast, but I was worried, that it wasn't gonna be enough work to show. But I think we're good because we're talking and having fun and answering questions. It's gonna be good.
Yep. All right.
So now I'm working on the second leg. If you've been watching, I duplicated this leg and then I just made some tweaks in order to make it look a bit different. But it wasn't nothing major. I'm using this. I am sticking with the hand socks, the hand-looking socks, by a popular opinion.
By popular opinion, yeah. Wade in the chat earlier said, "I see a sock, but I want it to be a hand." Wait, the other way around. I'm sorry. What? that was messed up. I messed up there. It's okay. Love it. Lisa in the chat says, "Always learning from others since you may do the same thing in so many ways." Yeah.
Yeah. So you will notice that as we were saying before, I'm working on outline mode a lot because I love being, I just realized that there was something here that weren't like the nodes weren't meeting. So
yeah,
this is a great tool because sometimes you can't notice it here in this way.
Yep.
Let's see if this is having the same problem. No, perfect. That's good. All right, so moving on, let's see. What kind of hair should I make? I tend to do a lot of these sort of upwards hairstyles, if I can call them that.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm
gravity defying, as you mentioned.
Gravity defying, exactly. Gravity defying hairstyles. So I'm not gonna duplicate it because I like having the four, like when I make a new, how can I explain this? Let's see. If I duplicate this, I'm not gonna have the 4 nodes in a cross, like the cardinal points. I don't know how to explain it.
The corner points, yeah.
Yeah. So what I will do is just create a circle that's the same, but this is just, it's not necessary. It's just something that I would like to have. I just want to have them like this because let's say I want to turn them into half circles. That's easier,
Yeah. Love that. Penny says they join because the chat is always their co-workers and they pick up tips and inspiration as they lurk in work. Hey, love that.
That's nice.
Yeah, other people also chiming in saying that they're a graphic designer and it just keeps them inspired and motivated to keep learning. I love that. Yeah, I love to hear everyone talking about why they join us at Adobe Live every day. Love it. We're live every single weekday at starting 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure to tune in with us live. And if you're watching this on replay, you can watch all of the replays both on Behance and YouTube. A friendly reminder and a nice time to say that we are also featuring artists when we're offline. So make sure to tune into that and learn from their creative process. And it's also a fun way to ask questions that you otherwise won't get the opportunity to ask.
That's nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm changing my opinion, as you can see, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm just trying to see what I can do with the hair. This is one of the most fun parts for me. I just love making hair. It just makes it so much more. It gives it character.
Absolutely.
It gives character to the character.
Yeah. Characterception, if you may.
So I'm going to try and do something like this. And then I put it in the back.
Oh, what? That is quick.
Oh,
I was looking at chat and you already did it. What?
So what I did was I took this line to have the same angle in the hair as the hair on top. And then I extended it, I don't know, as long as you want. And then wait, because I need to. And then I duplicated it. I put it on the other side of the head. Let me see. I need to zoom in for this. Okay, that's good. And then join them into a shape. And then I put it in the back. But I'm doing everything with shortcuts so that it looks faster.
Yeah, that was quick.
It looks more complicated than it is, actually.
That's fine.
The other way you could do this is, oh no, but this works. The other way you could do this is just make a rectangle and then just put it in that that angle, right? So I can do this. You have it there. So
nice. Yeah, multiple ways to do the same thing. Love you, Illustrator.
Right? There's so many ways of getting to the same, like many paths to go again to the same place. So I kind of like this, the fact that it's bigger than the head, because it gives it sort of like this part of the hair. You can see this part of the hair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I have it on my side.
Nice. Yeah, it's very fun to see your human-centric approach to the illustration, because someone making it for the first time would not think of it that way. I mean, that's what I think. But
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's fun to see. Love that everyone is telling us why they're tuning in and what they're doing. So love to see it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We have junior UI designers getting into illustration. We have Elizabeth, who is graduating from illustration this week. So they're joining. Love that.
Congrats.
Yeah. Congratulations.
That's so cool. I'm always curious to see, because I think on Behance, a lot of my followers are clients as well, like prospects of for commissions. And then on Instagram, I think it's mostly my peers, so it's people who are starting or they're already like they've been working for a while in illustration. So I'm always curious to see why you like my work, or why you follow me, why you're interested in watching a live stream.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. The good part about this is that it's a two-way conversation and we can ask questions and learn at the same time. So that's really fun.
I'm going to give her a tank top.
Okay.
Because why not? I know I haven't done the arms yet, but I'm procrastinating on the hands, to be honest.
You already have them.
Yeah, I have them. That's true. No, I'm going to make them from scratch. Otherwise, I'm a scammer. For the live stream, I have to make them,
Oh, no, it's all good. Maybe you can use the ones that you have and demonstrate how you make them.
Yeah. So let's say she's holding a pencil, because this is going to be for the ones tuning in right now, I'm making a cover, which is going to be also a print and an Instagram post for a session, like a cycle or a series of live chats that we're going to have on Instagram with some female illustrators. You can follow me for more updates. It's going to start in May. And I would love to make two female illustrators back to back, which I'm going to do soon, because I'm going to duplicate this and flip it. And so I was thinking maybe they could be holding pencils, right? Since we illustrate, even though I don't
use a pencil.
Yeah.
You use a pencil. Hey, you use a pencil in Illustrator.
Yeah, exactly.
That counts.
That counts as a pencil.
Absolutely, it does.
I used to draw a lot when I was a kid, but now
I was going to ask, do you ever do traditional for just to unwind and get away from screens or something like that?
I tend to read a lot, not a lot. Actually, that's a lie. I tend to read. And then I love just learning stuff, watching YouTube just to learn stuff. I follow a lot of chemists and things like that. Watch physics stuff. I love space, so I'm fascinated with the planets and stuff like that. I love music. I can sing, and my boyfriend plays the guitar really well, so sometimes we do that to unwind. Sometimes I illustrate to unwind, but it's not, it doesn't happen that often. But but I try to, if I'm on because being a freelancer, you know, sometimes you have a lot of work, sometimes you don't have a lot of work. So I try to stay sharp in a way, because if I don't work for a while, I don't have client work for a while, I tend to get rusty in my head. So I try to go and do something, even if I don't like it in the end, or I don't post it, or I don't show it to anyone else, I just try to stay sharp with the illustration tools, with Illustrator, basically.
Love that. Yeah. So I know we talked about freelancing. So is there a particular way you look for clients? Is there a website that you recommend? Anything for new freelancers out there?
Honestly, Behance is the best thing that's ever happened to me in terms of client work. Seriously, I do have my website, and feel free to visit it. It's anaduje.com. But I think most of the client work I get is through Behance, because it's such a great tool I used to work in advertising agencies, and whenever we had to outsource something, be it a 3D designer, an illustrator, or whatever it is, I used to go to Behance to look for references and to look for people. So I think that's the best way to get clients. And then just try to, this is my own experience, right? It doesn't mean that it works for everyone, but for me, what has worked was, because I used to do this like outbound sort of approach, where I would go and look for clients, and it really didn't work for me. Maybe it was a mistake in my, I don't know, tone of communication or something. But what worked for me was to try and get, rent as much real estate online as you can, and leverage the follower base of other, or like the traffic of other websites like Behance, and, just optimize for that, instead of trying to get everything on your own and do everything on your own. Like it's a really good thing that we have so many tools right now to get what we need. So yeah, Behance was basically and then a bit of Instagram as well, to get clients. Right now, I'm fortunate enough to not have to look for clients. I get a lot of emails every day or every week, and sometimes I have the luck to be able to choose which projects I can work on. So yeah, it's been
that's
a real
pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool to know. There's also jobs panel, jobs navigation on the Behance website. So if you guys are new to Behance, you can go look for your city. You can choose remote jobs and check it out.
In fact, fun fact, when I just moved to Barcelona back in 2016, I was looking for a job, and I went to the jobs part on Behance, and there was one job related to what I was looking for and in my location and everything, and I got that job. So I got my job through Behance, and now I still get my work through Behance.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Gonzalo in the chat had a question. I'll get to that in just a second here, Gonzalo. Yeah, let's get into the hand. Let's do it.
Sorry?
I'm just saying, let's continue on with the hand, and then I'll ask Gonzalo's question in a bit. Yeah. I know we're talking a lot. Sometimes it's too much talking.
No, I think it's fun. It keeps me talking. Otherwise, I would be totally quiet. So let me guys know if this is too much for if you don't understand what I'm doing. I'm trying to visualize how thick the arm is going to be. So do you think this is too thick? We could do it a bit thinner. It's going to be sort of like an arm that's like this, and it's holding a pencil.
Yep. How do you usually do it? Do you match it with the size of the leg, or I don't know, how do you do it?
Usually I do one or the other. So if the legs are very thick, I'm going to make the arms thinner, and the other way around, because I just like that sort of balance that also looks imbalanced. It looks disproportionate, right?
Yep. To bring it that balance. That makes sense. Yeah. So do you have any rule for scaling the different parts of your characters? How do you decide how big or small they will be?
Not really. Sometimes I just start in a way, and then it's not like I'd say, okay, this is gonna be half the thickness of the leg or something. I just look at it and see what's works in each case. Like it's not all the time the same, because if you can see, for example, let's say this one, because it's the first I can remember. I have this character that is, most of them are they have very big legs and shoes, like in this case. But then I have one that is, see, it's bigger on the top part.
Yeah.
So the legs are still big, but they look smaller in comparison to the top part of the body. So, and then you can play around with the size of the head so that it looks more disproportionate or more proportionate. Sometimes I get this ask from clients. Sometimes they are like, we need it to look a bit more realistic because it's just a dot, you know, the head. I tend to, sometimes I do the heads, they're very, very small. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Gonzalo. Thank you for that. Yeah, Joseph checked out your website and says cool designs on your webpage. Hey, thanks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's nice that you take a look at my website, because it's not something that I, pay attention to a lot, but I love it. I recently changed the font, and it's really cool.
Oh yeah, I love it too.
It's kind of quirky.
Trendy. Oh, absolutely. Love it. Let's people chiming in. We like thinner arm. Fergie says she likes thinner arms. So I don't know.
Okay,
yeah.
Thinner than the one I'm making.
I think this was a while ago, so maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe that was.
Yeah.
Let's do 70 though, just to. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it into expand it. Turn it into a shape. So now you can see it a bit better. And then let's see. So now what I want is for the arm to match this baseline. So, okay. So then I'm gonna try and wait a minute. Do you guys listen to music when you work? It's something I can't do. It's just too distracting for me.
It depends for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. When I'm thinking of like how I should, when I'm strategizing, I don't listen to music. When I'm actually doing the work, maybe then I am. Or listening to Adobe Lives in the background. Just say hi and then look.
Yeah.
Look mode. That's typically what I do.
For me, it's really hard to concentrate. In fact, I love working in my house because I can't go to co-working spaces or anything like that. I just get too distracted. But that's me, I think a lot of people get very energized from being around people, and they get ideas. And
yeah, absolutely. Definitely differs from personalities. But I think I'm both. I like both. Working in the quiet and also around people. I love it.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of day you're having, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So we shall make a hand. So sometimes what I do, even though I said I don't freehand, but sometimes just to visualize it, I use the brush tool, and I just, try and see what I come up with. So
is this the mouse you're using for the brush tool?
I'm working with the pad, with the touch pad. I don't work with the mouse, which is kind of mind-blowing for some people, but for me it's just the way I've been doing it forever.
Nice.
So
yeah, all this while I thought you were using a mouse. So yeah.
No.
I can't do that.
So I'm just trying to see how this would work, but basically I would do something like this, and then I would put the pencil here, Okay, this is how beautiful I hand draw for you guys. So then I would turn it into a shape. Okay, so let's do it.
Yeah, Becca had a very good question earlier. How did you land on your current style, Anna? Did you have a long exploration process, or was this always how you did it?
I mean, I think, as I said before, I think my style is not exactly the same as it used to be, but it's still, I think it's always evolving, and I always come up with like new ideas that I incorporate to my work, but I still try to keep it coherent in a way that it reads the same, even though you're looking at something that I did like 5 years ago or something. Yeah. Still, I don't think it's a bad thing to not have a style, or, you know, it's totally fine. But the way I did it was just by experimenting, and it just keeps evolving all the time. So I do remember that one of the first, if not the first thing I did, or the first piece I did that I was like, okay, I'm going somewhere with this, was, I think I have it on Behance, and it might be one of the first ones. I think it was this one. I was in a co-working space, actually. That's one good thing I got from being in a co-working space. And I came up with this, which was like very different characters. And I was like, okay, because of the proportions and stuff, it's not exactly what I do right now, but it just gave me an idea. Actually, I did a very similar one. I sort of recycled one for a personal work recently, which looks very similar to this one, because I liked it and I wanted to sort of update it to my new style. So yeah, I think it was just, I never had like an epiphany or anything. It was just experimenting.
Love that. Yeah. Experimentation and like just doing the things always gets you.
Yeah, and going through phases where you don't like anything you do, and that's totally fine. You know, that's part of the process. Otherwise, you would be sort of mediocre, right? So it's nice to not conform. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. It's showing growth when you can say that, hey, this does not look good. You can identify what's actually wrong, and then you can work on those things. Love that. Yeah.
Exactly. So
a lot of people in the chat use the touchpad greater than mouse.
Oh, nice. My people then. I thought I was the only crazy person around here.
I only use the mouse, so I'm the crazy one here. I do use the touchpad just to zoom in or out, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. What have I done? No.
Touchpad plus mouse is the best combination ever, though.
All right. So I'm just thinking about it. It's not gonna look like the sock, I promise. One thing I do all the time, one tool I use all the time, I think it might be preset as well, default, is to repeat behavior or something. Like if I want to duplicate this, and then I want all the circles to be in the same distance from each other, I just do Command D.
Yep.
And it duplicates them. I do this all the time with things, well, because I like things very neat and proportionate and everything. And I do this all the time when I work on the patterns for the clothes. You know, I tend to do like circles or clouds or something inside the clothes. And it's very useful.
Love it. Yeah. Command D, duplicate.
And D. Would be
Control D if you're on Windows. Control D if you're on a Windows.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiran in the chat loves your color palette. They say your color palette is so distinctive. They love it. They feel like they're in a candy store. Total nostalgia.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because color is something that I always struggle with, actually. And it's the thing that people highlight the most about my work, that they like. And I actually find it quite hard to work with color. Yeah, it's not that easy. Sometimes I just get inspired by other people's color palettes. Sometimes I just try things and they just don't work. But I do know that I have this tendency to go really bold, really in your face with color. So that's, I think, what might attract people to my color palettes.
Love it.
So, okay. So let's see. This isn't typically how I would do this. I don't know why I'm working in this way. It's just the pressure of the live.
No, no worries. We're a great community here. And we understand that this is how the actual design process looks like. So
Yeah,
it's all good. You're in safe hands.
Yeah, I guess everyone hesitates a lot when they're designing, and it's part of the process, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you find new ways, like I'm doing now, of designing things. Like I would have never done this way. I don't know, new ways of doing things, which is pretty fun.
Only on Behance, folks.
Only on Behance.
We have about 40 minutes left in the stream. So if you are just joining us, welcome everyone. I see a lot of new friends joining us. Not new friends, old friends, but newly joining us. Hey, Stuart and Gareth, welcome, welcome. And anyone over on YouTube, please hop on over to behance.net/Adobe Live. This is where I'm saying hi to everyone and asking all the questions.
Nice.
Love it.
Welcome to the new people joining.
Yeah.
So should we do a refresh on what we're doing, maybe?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I'm designing.
Quick recap.
Yeah. Quick recap. We're doing cover for a series of live streams I'm going to be doing on Instagram from starting May. So I was thinking of making these two because it's all going to be female illustrators. So I'm thinking of making this mirrored image of two illustrators holding pencils as an Instagram cover, and then we're gonna make it into a print tomorrow.
Love it.
So now we're working on the outline phase or the draft phase. Then I'm gonna move on to very soon because it's almost done. I'm gonna move on to shading, and then we're gonna move on to color. And hopefully you can help me color this because, as I said, I'm not that good at it.
Oh, I think you're great at it. But we can still chime in. I mean, backseat art directing.
Exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
So let's see. I don't like this. I usually don't like this is a pet peeve of mine. I don't like when things are too close because it tends to look a bit noisy from afar. So I'm gonna try and change the angle of this.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I prefer to, step on something else or like be on top of something else instead of being so close to it, or be very far, which would be like this or something. I don't know. But I think this is better.
Yeah, that also matches the angle for the sock.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Good, Annika. You're sharp.
I'm learning.
You get me. I think I'm going to have to change then the arm because we're gonna have a problem there with joining with the clothes or with the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create the line again. I've been doing this for a while. Before I used to do I would draw the whole I would draw like two rectangles and then join them into one shape with a Pathfinder. But now I've been doing this a lot because it allows me to be more, I don't know, have more freedom with curves and shapes. Doing this thing where I draw the line first and then I give it a higher stroke. I think it was, what were we working with? 70? Yeah.
70, yep.
So, so that allows me to change it as I like, and then I turn it into a shape again.
Yeah.
So in this case, we would have to do something like this so that it matches the bottom line. And then I would expand it again. Oops, it's grouped. So now this is probably going to work better. So first I'm going to make sure that this is right on the bottom line. And then no one's going to notice if it's like 2 pixels below the bottom line, but that's just me.
You'll notice it.
The designer brain. Yeah, exactly. I'll notice it.
Love it. I love how that looks.
I think
Even
it will be
without the
good.
shading, the simplistic lines and everything is coming to life. I love it.
Thank you. I think it looks a lot better now. And I mean, it's taking shape. It's looking like something now. And then I really love shading because even though it's very minimal what I do, and sometimes it's not even like realistic because sometimes the shadow is going this way. And then in another part of the illustration is going the other way. It just gives it dimension and it's really cool. It looks so much more, I don't know, put together, you know?
Yeah.
Along with.
So do you use brushes for adding the shading?
No, I actually do shapes. So let's do the pencil and then we can call it done. And then
all right,
we can start shading so that I can show you how I do it. So let's just make a very simple pencil. And then I will do the triangle.
That's a fun way to make a triangle. Use the star tool and make three.
A three,
yeah.
Exactly. 3-point star. Nice. Yeah, just because I want them to be equilateral. Is that what you call them in English? Yep. Okay.
Is your first language not English?
No, my first language is Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah. Or my Spanish speakers.
Looks great. That pencil looks amazing.
Do you speak any Spanish, Annika?
I don't actually, unfortunately.
I think if you know English, Spanish, and Chinese, you're gonna conquer the world.
Oh, yeah.
The most people speak those 3 languages, so it's pretty useful.
Gotta learn it.
I don't speak Chinese, by the way. I have no idea.
So do you think the angle? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, nothing. I was going to comment on.
Yeah. I was just curious if you're gonna make the angle of the pencil. Oh, you did already. Oops.
Oh yeah, the angle the same as the Yeah. That's good. Good observation because I tend to try and do that because it just looks better. Even though you don't notice it, if it were another angle, maybe it would look kind of weird, and you wouldn't know exactly what it is, but it would look kind of weird. So I can fix that. Okay, and then I can make it, you know, we can make it longer.
Are you holding shift while doing that? Is that how?
Right now I'm doing it the wrong way, actually. What I should do is take this shape and then extend it because I have the smart guides. It helps me with the extension. So I do the same. I do Command D and I do the same with this. So then when I take these two, I do Command D as well. And everything is going in the same direction, the same angle.
Nice. Pretty neat.
So yeah, it's a great tool. I mean, I love this Command D. I don't know what it's actually called.
Duplicate, I think. That's
Duplicate?
What it is. Yep. Duplicating objects. I think it is across apps. So even in other Ruby applications, it works.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very useful. So I'm gonna do the same this way until it looks good. But you know, I can clean it up for tomorrow for when we make it into a print, but just for, you know, illustration purposes, we're gonna leave it at this. And then, okay, so what I'm gonna do is add the shading, right? So let's say what I do is I observe where it would make sense to have a shadow, right? So let's say so this is a top, and I don't know. Oh no, this is a top, and the top would cast a shadow on the body part, right? So what I will do is I will duplicate the body shape. So I will bring it down to where the top ends, and then I basically make triangle, and I make it thicker where like it's supposed to be more separated from the body, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
That makes sense. You're
So
just
that's what I would
essentially
do.
creating a shadow where overlapping parts would cast a shadow on the objects underneath and
Exactly.
then changing the stroke to fill. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. So yeah, I do fill. I mean, it could be stroke as well, but because I add at the end, I add a roughen effect to the whole thing, it would overlap with the one below it or behind it. So I tend to not have any overlapping strokes so that doesn't happen. So then I would do the same, for example, here where the arm is meeting the leg. So sometimes what I would do is I just draw a shape, and because I want it to be inside this shape, instead of making a mask, I just duplicate it, I select both and I divide it, and then I just take this one and the other ones can go, and I put it there. Was that clear?
Yep. That makes sense. Let us know in the chat if you did not understand or want us to repeat or demonstrate again. We can do it.
Yeah, let me know. And then, for example, do the sock and the leg, where the sock and the leg meet. So here we would have another shadow, but see that it doesn't really make sense. Like the shadows go different ways, but it just gives it dimension and it separates the things, and it's sort of a 3D effect within a 2D design.
Nice. Yeah. Stuart in the chat says they never knew that you can duplicate an anchor point movement. Thank you for that. Hey,
that's cool, Stuart.
love it. Yeah, and I think we're creating more shadows. So I think Penny wanted us to explain the shading again. So maybe we can go over that once again.
Yeah, so what I do is if I want to make a shadow over this leg, for example, because this sock, which is separated from the leg, would cast a shadow on the leg, I would duplicate the shape by doing Command or Control C, Control F to paste it in place. And then what I would do is I take away some of the nodes and I would make a triangle, and that triangle I make it into a fill shape, fill color.
Yep. Yep.
And there you have your shadow. And then you can make it as big or as small as you want. Maybe it's thinner, like this.
Love it. Yeah. You're right. It does give the dimension to the illustration, even though they might not be really realistic in the sense of having one light source and having the shadows casting on something else underneath. But still very cool.
Nice. And then I always do this one, which is on the neck. I duplicate the head, and then I duplicate the neck, and I select both, and there you have what intersect is the name of this tool. So then you have one that is the intersection between the two shapes.
Nice. And then you just eyedrop the fill color. Nice.
Exactly.
Pretty neat.
Exactly. So now I kind of feel like these pom-poms should be bigger. But this is something, you just look at it and it ends up being something very different to what you started with. Just because, sometimes you like adding more fun details to it. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, because I have it grouped.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right. So yeah, I think we pretty much have it. So see what I was saying before, like I'm hiding this. I don't need to draw another hand because I'm not that great at it. So you don't have to see the other arm. It's sort of understood that you have an arm behind that. I could also cast a shadow here. I think it needs it. Yeah. So then I drop the color. And there you have it.
Love that.
So now what we're gonna do is we have this girl finished. We are going to group it. We're going to paste it in place, and with the O, which it might be one of my shortcuts, you flip it vertically. And then we meet them in the middle. There you have it.
Look at that.
So what
Cool.
we could do, you know, different shoes so that they look different. We could do different hairstyles. But for now, what we are going to do, since we don't have a lot of time, is to move on to color so that you guys can help me choosing the colors.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
Unlock guides. We're gonna take
The word in the chat is loving your form of illustration work, clean and punchy. And Kieran also says they gotta go, but lovely to see your design process. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Kieran, you can join tomorrow if you want. We're gonna
absolutely
keep going.
We will be back at the same time tomorrow.
So now what I've been thinking about in terms of color is to do something different to what I usually do. I do have a palette here. Let me know if you guys like it or if I should change any colors. Because I was thinking, since I always outline and do the shading with black, I was thinking of using another dark color, which is this blue. And let's see how it works. Let me know if you like it.
Yeah, I think Scott in the chat says purple, yellow, and orange look good.
Purple, yellow, and orange. Oh yeah, I've done something similar. Actually, the presentation is purple, yellow, and orange, isn't it? Or purple, yellow, and pink. Yeah, purple, yellow, and pink.
Yeah. No,
so this is actually a palette that I presented for my Korean project, the one that I showed you in the beginning for the shopping mall, and they ended up choosing another one. So I've always wanted to use these colors and I've never used them. But do you guys think I should do purple, yellow, and orange instead?
Yeah, I think there was one comment about that, but let's dive into it and we'll get comments a little bit later on.
Let's go for it. Okay, so I'm gonna take all the blacks. This is Command-Shift-I, and I choose the whole, or you can do select, same, fill color. So I drop the blue, holding Shift so that I don't take away the stroke. And then the same Command-Shift-Option. This is on Mac, I'm sorry, but I don't know the other one. Command-Shift-Option-I.
So in a Windows device, if we're just saying command, it's control, and if you're saying option, it's alt on Windows.
Alt, right? Yeah. So Control-Alt-Shift-I, and then you select the same stroke color, and you go for the blue. So I think it looks kind of cool.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah.
And then let's see if we can do one really useful thing about the smart guides is that you don't really have, like, it snaps automatically with the artwork. You know what I mean? If you do it, it's so much easier. Let's choose this for now.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Someone in the chat says use the colors you have. They are awesome.
Oh, nice. Thank you. So what I usually do, I mean, I don't do it always, but I often like doing this. I do all the skin color is the same as the background, because it kind of gives the clothing, which is sort of like the main feature in all my illustrations. It gives it a bit more like protagonism. So let's see how it works. If I don't like them, if you don't like it, actually, we can
always switch it back. Oh, that looks cool.
I think it looks kind of cool. And then, by the way, I love doing this, like flipping and mirroring images. It always looks so good, and it looks like so much more work than what you have actually done. It's a great tip, and it looks really cool. Yeah, symmetry looks so good. Okay, so we're gonna do. Oh yeah, this is skin actually, right? So these are skin as well. So let's go for skin there. And then we could add, because we have a darker pink, we could add like little red cheeks.
Oh, that is cool.
So if I want
that looks pretty cool.
So if I want to put it in the same place as in, like if I want to flip it and put it in the same place, because I don't have a reference here, like it's not snapping to any other node or anything, I would just duplicate it, paste in place, flip it, and I just do this and I put it in the same place. And then I don't need this head, so I just put it in the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, am I making sense? Or am I going too fast?
That makes sense. Yeah. Just layering the same place underneath the hair shape, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then maybe we can add some earrings. Maybe I will update it for tomorrow if I see that it needs something else, or you know, in order to make it a print. And this will actually become a print in my shop. So soon.
Nice. So we can get our hands on it. That's pretty cool.
I will let you guys know via Instagram probably, which is where I put most of my updates when the shop is live. So I'm gonna put an earring here. Hopefully it reads as an earring.
It does, yeah.
So we should probably put another one here. And then it should be on top of this. Well, but I don't like that, see? So maybe it can have only one earring and it will read as having an earring.
Yep.
Because it looks kind of noisy if I do it. If I put the other one on top. Maybe one of them, like even we could, you know, change things up, and like one of them could have shoelaces instead of the pom-poms. One of them could have an earring and the other one not. Shoelaces, like I love them. I always do this. I do a triangle, a random triangle, and then I round the corners, and then I it doesn't have a fill color.
Mind-blowing. How easy it was. Yeah.
So then I duplicate it and I rotate it, and there you have the shoelaces.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're gonna do the same with the other shoe. And maybe this one could have like one of them hidden behind it, just to change things up. And then to continue with this color palette, let's do white socks, I guess. And then we could do pink for the shoes in this case. Let's do pink for the shoes for this girl and orange for the clothes. And then we do pink for the clothes for this girl and orange for the shoes.
That's pretty nice. Nice way to bring contrast to the symmetrical illustration. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, looks cool, I think.
Someone in the chat says they see the socks now that there is some color added. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, right. It changes so much once you add the color. Yeah, that's so true. So now we're gonna do, to finish things up, we're gonna do, well, first I have to do the pencils, and then we're gonna move on to the patterns. Sorry, my English.
That's cool.
We're gonna move on. So we're gonna move on to the patterns, and then yeah, okay.
Love it. Yeah, everyone in chat is loving the color combination.
Thank you. And then we could I'm just thinking maybe we could add like, okay, so we're gonna, okay, this is what I would do normally. So I would go ahead and maybe someone can suggest a pattern that you want. Sometimes I do circles, like what I would have done in this case. For example, I would have done this, but you can suggest otherwise. So I do circles, and then I duplicate that, and I have a pattern. And then what I would do is probably this, sort of. Yeah, let's do that. Let me know if you like this. Otherwise, you can just.
Yeah, it looks good. I just asked in chat if they have any patterns made of shapes.
Because we can have two different ones for each girl, you know. So then I will. Oh yeah, I would I will add one more shadow because I think it needs it, which is here.
Love it. Yeah, we have about 10 minutes left in the stream today. So if you guys have any last minute questions or if you're just joining us, we will be back tomorrow. So make sure to come back tomorrow when we do. But yeah, this is your time to ask last minute questions. We do have some recommendations for patterns. Randall has a good herringbone. Penny says, can you repeat the little boot puff as a pattern? That would be cool.
That's interesting. Let's see what works. Herringbone is the one that goes like this, right?
Yep.
That's interesting. I've never done that. Let's see if it works. So what I could do is, for this one, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do herringbone for the other one. So, okay. So what I do normally is I place the pattern where I think it works, and then I take the shapes, I place them on top, and then I mask them. So, and I put them on top of the other shape. Where you're gonna see it now because I had to do it twice. So I had to duplicate the pattern. So I make the mask and then I place them on top of the other, of the shape that I wanted. So in this case, because I'm going to add a roughen effect to the whole thing, I'm gonna take away, because I don't want duplicated lines, as I said, outlines. So I'm gonna put the outline on the shape that's on top, which is the mask. So I'm gonna do that.
Pretty cool. So did you make a compound shape of the patterns first? Of the shape?
I didn't because I did two separate ones. I did them separately. I could have done that, but I find it easier because when you work in layers and you need to animate, you need them to be separate. So you need this to be one thing and this other leg to be another thing. So it's good to have two separate masks instead of a compound path.
Love that. Yeah.
And then
good to think about what you're going to do later on with the illustration, right, when you're making it. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it might not be necessary if you're working on a still image that you're not going to have to animate. So it depends on your case and what you're going to do with it. I've never made herringbone, but I think it's something like this.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
So
Randall in the chat says good old rectangles. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it is like this. Cool. Never done this before. So okay.
Pretty cool.
And then
we have a new pattern for your pattern library.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good. I actually keep some files with or I steal from like old illustrations. But I do have files with patterns.
Love that.
It's very useful.
Thanks, Randall.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Pretty cool. I love it.
So now what I should have done is to make it like color it before I duplicated the whole thing, but whatever. We'll
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're just gonna wing it. It's cool.
So let's do, I don't know, orange, pink, white, orange, pink, and then we duplicate the whole thing, right? Does it work? Yeah. So we take this away. All right. And then we duplicate. So now we have a pattern that, let's see if it works. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the back for now. I mean, I'm gonna put it here and see if it works.
How do you decide the scale of the patterns? I know it's the polka dots. I mean, if I were doing that, I would not make them so big, but I was surprised to see that with the scale of the legs and the scale of the patterns as well, they were really comparable. Is there something you think of and any considerations when you're making those patterns?
I tend to like both things, so I tend to do them big all the time, but they could be smaller and they could work as well. Yeah. I just think it fits the scale of the whole thing better, but not too big because you wouldn't see the actual pattern. You just see shapes, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't read them as polka dots, for example, in this case.
Absolutely.
So for, now that you mentioned this, actually, I think this is not reading as a herringbone, for example. So we should make it smaller, in which case we have to duplicate the shapes because you don't see the whole thing. So there you have it. And then we're gonna have to do this.
Van Ross in the chat says this is very informative. They're in school for graphic design and this is super helpful for them. Love that.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah, we have about 5 minutes left in the stream. So make sure to follow Ana on their website, Behance, and also Instagram to keep updated on the giveaways we talked about earlier. Okay.
Yeah, just as a reminder, here my
we have that in the chat. Our moderator has kindly dropped in all the links. Yeah.
That's nice.
All good. Yeah.
All good. So yeah, we're pretty much done, guys. This is what we came up with, and then tomorrow we'll work on a little animation for this, and then we will turn it into a print. If we have some time, we might drop some advice on like how to prepare files for After Effects if you're working with an animator, and whatever other questions you have.
Love it. Yeah, let's do a quick recap of what we did today, and then we can wind up. You can finish making this pattern and then we can do the recap. That's fine too.
Cool. Yeah, so better, I'm almost done. So that's it.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah. Love it.
So so what we've done today is just go through the whole process of illustration from the draft. The idea, I already sort of had it, but I showed you a bit how I come up with the ideas when I have client work. And then we started tweaking until we were happy with it. At least I'm happy with it. Let me know if you guys like it. And then we moved on to shading and coloring, and yeah, tomorrow we'll keep working on this in another way, not so creative but more technical, and helping people who want to know how to turn them into animations and prints and scale them and adapt them for the different formats. So yeah.
Nice. So what tools are you going to be working in tomorrow?
I'm going to be using Illustrator again, and then a bit of Photoshop.
Nice. So we're going to be using the Photoshop timeline to animate this a little, right?
Exactly. Frame by frame.
Love it. Yeah. So this was an amazing stream, Ana. Thank you so much for joining us today. I loved learning from your tips and tricks and also using simple shapes and learning everything about it. If you missed the stream, you can always watch the replay both on Behance and YouTube, the YouTube Adobe Creative Cloud and the Adobe Live channel. So make sure to subscribe to that as well. And Ana and I will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific for part 2 with turning your artwork into prints. Stick around for this week's Illustrator Creative Challenges with Julia Walker, immediately followed by an introduction to designing a mobile app with Alex on design. It's going to be an amazing stream. Don't forget to watch that because it's going to be building a coffee ordering app. Stick around for all of the programming for Adobe Live, and we will be back tomorrow. But until then, bye for now.
Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow.